All right, let's dive in. This time we're looking at the Paradise Earth project.
Oh, wow.
Have you heard about this one? This is the one that's aiming to build like an actual Janna on Earth.
I have, yeah. It's incredibly ambitious.
Super ambitious. And you know the sources that you sent me?
Yeah.
It's a wild mix. We've got like project blueprints,
Wow.
implementation plans, and there are even some pieces of code in there
Really?
that sort of hint at a pretty powerful AI system that they're building.
That's impressive, yeah. I mean, they're not just, talking about these lofty ideals.
Right.
They're laying out, like, concrete steps
Exactly.
to actually make this happen.
To try to achieve this vision, and the tech is pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
We're talking a deed-based economy, buildings inspired by nature, and an AI that's powered by quantum computing.
Yeah, ready to jump in?
Let's do it. I guess first things first, what is this Janna on Earth concept? It kind of sounds like a sci-fi novel.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
imagine a future where technology and nature, they coexist in harmony. And they're guided by, like, a system of ethics rooted in Quranic principles. That's the essence of it. This sustainable and equitable world that is kind of modeled after this concept of paradise.
So they're taking ancient wisdom and they're translating it into like a blueprint for a modern society. That sounds like a pretty big challenge.
It is a huge challenge, and they're tackling it head on.
Yeah.
They're using something called higher order topological dynamics, HOTD it's called.
HUTD.
Yeah, to map Quranic narratives into an ethical training system for their AI.
Wait, hold on. You're saying they're teaching AI ethics based on these ancient stories. How does that even work?
Yeah, it's fascinating. They're analyzing these stories,
Yeah.
looking for patterns and principles
Right.
that can be translated into algorithms.
Okay.
It's kind of like extracting the moral lessons and encoding them into the AI's decision-making process.
I see. So instead of programming specific rules, they're giving this AI sort of a framework for understanding ethical dilemmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique approach.
It really is. And it connects to, like, this idea of Janna economics.
Right. Which is another key pillar.
Yeah, another key pillar of this project.
This is the deed-based economy, right?
Correct.
You mentioned you earn XP for good deeds. So this sounds kind of like straight out of a video game.
It does, doesn't it? Imagine a system where instead of, like, traditional money,
Yeah.
you earn points for actions that benefit the community,
Okay.
like planting trees, volunteering,
Sharing. Okay.
helping your neighbor, like all these actions, you could earn XP.
So it's like a system that rewards people for contributing to the common good.
Exactly.
But what do you do with these XP?
That's where it gets really interesting. The XP would have, like, real value within this community. So you could use them to access, like, resources, services, even decision-making power. The idea is to incentivize positive actions, and create a more equitable distribution of resources.
I see. I'm starting to see how the pieces fit together.
Yeah.
They're building a whole new system.
They are.
Like from the ground up.
Yeah.
But let's dive into the tech itself. This quantum semantic AI
Yes.
sounds super intriguing. What is that all about?
This is where their approach gets really innovative.
Okay.
They're using the unique structure of Arabic,
Yeah.
specifically the trilateral root system,
Okay.
to embed ethical guidelines.
Ethical guidelines into the AI.
Into the AI, yes.
So I'm not super familiar with this trilateral root system. How does that work?
Sure. In Arabic, like, many words are derived from a three-letter root.
Okay.
For example, the root RRSIM, RE. It encompasses, like, mercy, compassion, forgiveness. They're using these root meanings to define these ethical principles for the AI.
So they're building the ethics into the actual language of the AI. That's incredible.
It is.
It seems like they're also thinking long term when it comes to data storage.
Yes.
Right. I read something about using DNA.
Yes. They're proposing to use synthetic DNA to store all sorts of project data.
What?
Yeah.
DNA is a hard drive. How is that even possible?
Well, DNA is incredibly dense, right?
Okay.
It can store vast amounts of information in a very tiny space. Plus, it's super durable. Think about how long, like, dinosaur DNA has lasted.
Wow. It's like nature's data center. I'm sensing a real commitment to sustainability here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of nature, I see they're also incorporating bio-inspired design into their infrastructure plans.
Oh, absolutely. They're looking to nature
Okay.
for inspiration.
Yeah.
So, for instance, they're proposing water filtration systems that are based on mycelium, which is the network of fungal threads that cleans water naturally.
So instead of relying on these like energy-intensive filtration plants,
Right.
they're turning to nature's solutions.
Exactly.
So that's brilliant.
And, they're also drawing inspiration from termite mounds to create like natural ventilation systems for the buildings to keep them cool without relying on AC.
So it's amazing how nature already has solutions for so many of these problems.
And it does.
We just have to learn from it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this sustainable infrastructure.
Yeah.
We've got this ethically guided AI and a deed-based economy.
It's a lot.
I have to ask about these drones equipped with something called Phyphox. What are those about?
So these drones play like a crucial role in real-time environmental monitoring. Think of them as like mobile sensor platforms, constantly gathering data on air quality, soil conditions, water levels, and more.
So it's like a swarm of like tiny environmental guardians constantly checking the health of the ecosystem.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and all of this data feeds into the heart of the project, the Quantum Tawhid Cognitive Simulator.
Yes, the brain of the whole operation. Now things are getting really interesting.
Yeah, this simulator is where it all comes together.
Oh.
It's designed to like guide ethical decision-making, manage that XP-based economy, even oversee the ecological restoration efforts.
So it's like the central nervous system of this Janna on Earth project.
It is.
But this is where the technical details get pretty mind-boggling.
They do. For example, it utilizes something called ternary quantum logic.
Okay, hold on. Ternary logic.
Yeah.
That sounds like something straight out of a theoretical physics textbook.
It does, doesn't it?
Could you break that down for me?
Yeah, so think about it this way. Traditional computers, they use binary logic.
Ones and zeros.
Ones and zeros.
Yeah.
To represent information.
Okay.
Ternary logic adds a third state.
Okay.
Which allows for more nuanced and flexible processing.
So instead of just yes or no, there's a maybe option.
Kind of, yeah.
That seems like, how humans actually think, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This ternary logic allows the AI to, deal with uncertainty and adapt to changing conditions more effectively.
Okay, so that's just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
What else is going on inside this Quantum Tawhid Cognitive Simulator?
Well, there's also something called wavelet-based consciousness.
All right.
Which allows the AI to process information on multiple scales.
Multiple scales.
Okay. Yeah. So think of it like understanding a single event in the context of seconds, minutes, hours, even years.
So it's like the AI has a long-term memory.
Yeah. It can kind of see the bigger picture.
Okay.
Not just reacting to things in the moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, with all this learning and processing going on, how do they prevent the AI from becoming biased?
Right. Well, that's where quantum reservoir computing comes in.
Quantum reservoir computing?
Yeah, it's a technique for memory compression that helps the AI avoid accumulating biases.
So it's like hitting the refresh button on the AI's memory.
Kind of, yeah.
Keeping it objective and unbiased. That's a relief. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. I'm sure you're ready to hear how this comes together in the real world.
Definitely. Yeah.
So let's move on to the implementation and explore how they envision this project actually unfolding.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so we've explored this vision of like a sustainable and equitable future, powered by all this crazy technology, guided by ancient wisdom.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But now let's talk about like how they actually plan to make this happen. They've got this 3-phase rollout, right?
Right. They're taking, like a very practical approach.
Yeah.
A step-by-step approach.
Step by step. Okay.
So phase 1 involves like launching a pilot project. In a small community.
So it's like a miniature Janna on Earth.
Yeah, basically.
To test things out in the real world.
Right.
What are they focusing on in this initial phase?
It's all about like proving the core concepts. They want to see how this XP system works, in practice.
Yeah.
How the sensors gather environmental data. How the AI governance system like functions at a small scale.
It's like a living laboratory.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense to start small. Learn from it before scaling up.
Right.
What happens if this pilot project, it's successful?
Well, then things get really exciting.
Okay.
Phase 2 involves expanding to a multi-village, a regional model.
Okay.
And they'll start connecting these eco-communities and integrating this AI governance system more broadly.
So it's like a network of these like mini paradises.
Kind of, yeah.
All contributing to this larger vision. It's ambitious.
It is very ambitious.
Yeah.
And the final phase, if everything goes according to plan, is to create a global network. They call it the JANA Grid.
A global network of interconnected eco-communities. That's a pretty bold vision.
It is bold. It highlights their belief in, collaboration, collective action. They see this JANA Grid as a way to share knowledge, resources, best practices for creating a sustainable future, really for humanity.
Yeah, I can see how that would be appealing.
Yeah.
Especially, with all the global challenges we're facing.
Right.
But let's be realistic. This sounds super complex, lots of moving parts.
Definitely.
What about the challenges? Like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, that's a great point. There are definitely risks involved.
Yeah.
With any project this big.
Right.
I mean, the technology itself is pushing the boundaries.
We're talking quantum AI, DNA storage, bio-inspired infrastructure.
Yeah, all of it.
Incredibly innovative.
It is.
But also probably prone to some unforeseen issues.
Definitely. So making sure these complex systems work reliably, securely, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah. And then you've got the challenge of community adoption.
Oh, right.
How do you convince people to embrace this new way of life?
Right. You're asking people to change their value.
Their behaviors.
Their behavior.
Even their economic systems.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. You need, transparency, a sense of ownership if this project is going to work.
It's crucial.
So it's not just about building some kind of technological utopia. It's about fostering like a social and cultural shift.
Absolutely.
Which requires a lot of careful thought and, community engagement.
Definitely. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. What can we, as listeners, learn from all of this?
Yeah.
Even if it never fully materializes.
Right.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think this Paradise Earth project, it offers some valuable insights.
Okay.
Whether it succeeds or not.
Okay.
First, it challenges us to think differently about this relationship between technology, ethics, and sustainability.
Right. We often see those as like separate domains.
We do.
But this project shows how interconnected they really are.
Exactly.
You can't have sustainable technology without ethical considerations.
Right.
And you can't build an ethical society without thinking about the planet.
It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay, and what else?
The second thing is, this project, it reminds us that we don't have to just accept the status quo.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up
in the day-to-day.
In the day-to-day.
Yeah.
And forget that, we have the power to imagine and create a better future.
It's like we're saying, don't be afraid to dream big.
Exactly.
Think outside the box, challenge conventional wisdom.
Yeah, and it's inspiring, even if it seems a bit idealistic.
Yeah.
It is. And, even if this project doesn't happen exactly as they've laid it out, the ideas can still be a catalyst.
Right. It's about planting seeds.
Planting seeds, yeah.
Sparking conversations.
Absolutely.
Pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It is. Okay, and third, this project really highlights the importance of community collaboration.
Right.
A shared purpose. Reminds us that we're not in this alone.
Yeah.
The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, they're too complex for any one person or organization
to solve.
We need to work together.
Yeah.
Pool resources, share knowledge, and support each other.
Yeah, it's about recognizing our interconnectedness.
Exactly.
Right.
So the Paradise Earth project, even if it just stays as a vision, it reminds us that we have a choice.
Okay.
We can continue doing what we're doing, or we can choose a different future.
One that's aligned with our values, our aspirations. And that brings us to the crucial question.
Yes.
How do we translate these big ideas into, tangible action?
That is the question.
In our own lives.
Yeah, that's what we're going to explore.
Okay.
In the final part of our deep dive.
Awesome. Let's take a closer look at the practical implications of all this and discuss how we can apply these lessons regardless of the outcome.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into this Paradise Earth project. We've talked about their vision, the tech, and the challenges, but now, let's bring it home. What can we as individuals learn from all of this?
That's a really great question, because even if this whole Paradise Earth project, it never actually materializes.
Yeah.
it still offers so many valuable insights
Yeah.
that we can use in our lives, our communities,
Right.
like right now.
I think one of the most like striking takeaways for me
Yeah.
is this idea of like interconnectedness.
Right.
Everything is linked.
Yes.
The tech, the ethics, ecology, economy, our actions.
It's a holistic vision.
Yes.
It really emphasizes that we can't solve these problems in isolation.
Right.
Everything's part of a larger system.
Right.
This delicate web of relationships.
So instead of just focusing on like, one issue,
Yeah.
climate change or economic inequality,
Right.
we need to understand how all these things are like intertwined
all connected.
and approach the solution from a broader perspective.
Exactly. And that's such a valuable lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of your background, your beliefs.
Right.
We need to start thinking in terms of systems, understanding how our actions impact the world.
Our actions ripple outward, yeah.
Exactly. But then the question is, how do we go from that awareness to actually making a difference?
Right. It's
in our daily lives?
How do we take that big picture and turn it into like everyday action?
Well, that's where I think this emphasis on community and collaboration really comes in. They're not just relying on like top-down solutions.
Right.
They're empowering individuals to make a difference.
At a grassroots level.
At a grassroots level.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We talked about that XP system, right?
Right.
Rewards people for good actions. And the governance model, that gives people a voice.
Exactly. It's about shifting from like passive consumers to active participants.
Right. Taking ownership, realizing that we have the power to shape the future.
Exactly.
Even if it's, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And I think this Paradise Earth project also challenges us to rethink our relationship with technology.
Oh, absolutely.
It's easy to fall into that trap of,
Yeah.
is it a savior or a threat?
Right.
But they offer this like more nuanced perspective.
Yeah, it's a tool.
Technology is a tool.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah, they're not shying away from that cutting edge stuff, right?
No, they're embracing it.
AI, quantum computing. But they're also emphasizing these ethical guidelines.
The
safeguards.
Community oversight.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, innovation and responsibility.
Yeah, that's a conversation we need to have.
As a society, absolutely.
How do we make sure technology serves humanity?
Exactly.
Not the other way around.
Yes.
How do we guide its development so it aligns with our values?
That's the question.
It's about like setting boundaries.
Yes, making choices.
And holding ourselves accountable, I think.
Absolutely. And, this Paradise Earth project, even with its idealistic elements.
Yeah, it reminds us.
It's okay to dream big.
Dream big. Imagine a better future.
Yes. Embrace that sense of possibility.
Yeah.
Don't be limited by the constraints of our current reality.
It might seem far-fetched.
It might.
But maybe some of those ideas hold the key
They might.
to a more sustainable future.
Absolutely.
It's about pushing the boundaries and inspiring others to do the same.
It is.
Okay, so as we wrap up,
Yeah.
what final thoughts would you leave our listener with?
I would say this. This Paradise Earth project, succeed or fail, it really sparks this important conversation about the future we want to create. It challenges us to think differently, to act boldly, and to never, ever lose sight of the power of human, ingenuity.
Human collaboration.
Collaboration.
Well said. It's been so fascinating to explore this project.
It has.
And I hope our listeners feel inspired to take action.
I hope so, too.
In their own lives.
Yeah. Remember, the future isn't set in stone.
Right.
It's something we create.
Yeah.
Through our choices, our actions, our beliefs.
Our belief in a better world.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Paradise Earth project.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for a better tomorrow.